For anyone thinking that the title of this video is absolute nonsense and I have no idea what I'm talking about, before you jump into the comment section, I ask you to watch the full video first and then go comment why gold is so much more valuable than silver. I'll be waiting for your rebuttal, especially if you actually watch the full video till the end. See, I can give you about 85,000 reasons on why silver is technically more valuable than its big brother, and this didn't happen naturally. I could actually tell you the name of the man that single-handedly devalued silver and made gold king. And that man was FDR in the early 30s. Not just confiscating everyone's gold with the Executive Order 6102 that everyone knows about, but also the Executive Order 6814 in 1934 confiscating everyone's silver as well, single-handedly devaluing silver. And go look at a chart of what the gold to silver ratio did during that time. But none of this is even why silver is more valuable than gold. It's just giving a slight glimpse behind the Iron Curtain, of which natural elements don't have natural pricing. And silver is by far the most strategically undervalued metal of all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into this article titled, "Can Silver Become More Precious Than Gold?" Enjoy. Before we jump into this article titled, "Can Silver Become More Precious Than Gold?" I have something very important to say. I need you all to understand how serious this channel is to me. This isn't some little BS project. I spend hours upon hours a day researching, recording, editing, uploading, talking to clients, since I'm also a full-time broker. So I'm answering calls, placing orders, taking orders, sometimes on the phone for hours with people, helping them with stuff, all while still trying to pump out my daily videos and take care of a 4-year-old little girl myself. This is no game. This is what I love to do, along with the weekly podcast, the special guests, and sometimes thumbnails take hours itself. So my point is, join me on this journey as I try to spread the message to the masses. And make sure you click subscribe. If you wanted to join me on Patreon, it's patreon.com/silverslayer. If you wanted to purchase some of the shiny stuff from a safe, reliable place, you could email slayer@milesfranklin.com or call 330-485-6172. I will make sure you're hooked up. I'm not afraid to say that either, because I am so grateful that I'm able to give my audience great prices from a safe place, especially with all the new stackers nowadays that don't know where to go to or don't know which sites are legit or not. Plus, you get to build a business relationship with me. So thanks for listening through all that. Now, let's talk silver. So the article starts off asking a very important and interesting question of, can silver become more precious than gold? And the word precious is very interesting, because you could have something that's more valuable in price, but not as valuable in use, which is a perfect case for silver. Silver's much more useful, but it's nowhere near as valuable. Things are overpriced all the time, and things are underpriced. But when we're talking about a precious metal, let's say you're walking down the street and you see a woman and you have a gold shiny ring and a silver shiny ring. Which one do you think she's gonna want? If you were to offer one, she's gonna pick the gold one. But let's say you go to a big tech company and you have 1,000-ounce gold bars or a whole bunch of 1,000-ounce silver bars. Even though the gold bars are worth more, the tech company is going to want the silver, because silver is much more useful for that company, even though those bars are a lot cheaper. See, you have to learn how to detach value from a dollar perspective, especially when it comes to something like gold and silver to make realistic or rational decisions. So, Anil Agarwal, chairman of Vedanta Resources, predicts that silver could potentially become more valuable than gold in the future. Now, I'm going to try not to pause too much, but valuable meaning price, that is a big leap only because gold is a tier one asset right now. So, right now, gold is literally deemed king. So for silver, for something like silver to actually surpass gold in price, there would have to be a lot of other underlying factors moving behind the scenes, behind forces for that to work. It's not like the price would just jump up from the COMEX one day to beyond gold, especially when we're talking about tier one assets or even like maybe something when the BRICS new exchange, the new precious metals exchange that the BRICS that is working on, maybe when they revalue gold and silver, it could be closer. But for this to just quote unquote naturally happen is unlikely. There would have to be some type of stepping stone, and we don't know what that would be. But in my opinion, silver is much more valuable than gold. It just, in dollar terms, I don't think we're there yet, or we would get there without something big happening. I do think the gold to silver ratio could go a lot lower. Let's say it comes out of the ground 7 to 1. So why couldn't the ratio be 7 to 1 when right now it's 84 to 1? Or it could go to 16 to 1 because that's the ratio it was for thousands of years. That's much more realistic than 84 to 1. So that's where my take on that is. He bases this assertion on the increasing demand for silver in various industries, particularly in the production of EVs and solar panels. Arganwall notes that while gold is primarily used for jewelry and a store of value, silver has significant industrial applications. The article highlights silver is essential in the manufacturing of EVs, batteries, which EV require about 20 to 50 grams of the metal. And yeah, each EV they're saying like 20 something grams. They're trying to cut it down. I guess it was like 50 grams. They're trying to cut it down to like 20 grams. Even if they do that, that's not going to put a dent in the amount of silver. We're talking about deficits of well over 700 million ounces in the last 3 years alone. So we're talking even bigger than that, since the Silver Institute doesn't even incorporate military or aerospace, which are the two biggest sectors alone already. So we're talking about a shortage that we cannot even fathom. And check out these numbers: 700,000 ounces of silver per 1 gigawatt of solar. Additionally, solar panels use approximately 20 grams of silver per panel. As the world shifts towards renewable energy and the electric transportation, the demand for silver is expected to rise substantially, and it will. We saw Samsung's new N-type solar cells, EVs now having the plates on both sides because of the reflectivity off the sand can hit. So if you put a panel on the back side of it, when the solar panels are sitting in sandy areas, it reflects off the back. You're going to see so many more inventions that require more silver, since silver is the most highly conductive metal, and it is all going to be requiring more silver, but there's less and less of it. There's not a gold shortage, there's a silver shortage. Gold is plentiful, and gold isn't a byproduct, silver is. We're looking for gold, lead, and zinc. If we find silver, we'll take it, but we're not looking for it. So when you're looking at that, or when you're thinking about gold, or how we're going to come up with all this silver, or maybe ramping up mining innovation or recycling, you have to think about the possibility or the realities of that happening, which just aren't real. I remember a saying someone said. They said, if you think we have enough silver to go green, you're living in la la land. And that is true. The numbers just simply don't add up. So, someone who's looking, like I said, the guy in the beginning saying that gold is more valuable than silver, someone who can comfortably sit here and say, and we're nowhere near the amount of, where we're just getting started with the information. Even just this, someone to say that gold is more valuable than silver, given all that we've just learned and everything that's just mentioned, and then that we know, especially as gold keeps getting remelted and recycled and reused and rescrapped to more gold chains and necklaces and jewelry, since it's mainly scrapped, since it's used for monetary purposes. It's not like it's thrown away in landfills like most silver is, since it's used industrially. You're just seeing this repeating cycle, and it's never going to end. So, Arganwall emphasizes that India has abundant silver reserves, particularly in Rajasthan. He suggests the country should focus on increasing its silver production to meet the growing global demand and potentially become a major exporter of the metal. This shift could have significant implications for India's economy and its position in the global metals market. And I mean, we've already seen India buy boatloads of silver recently. Last couple of years, India has bought hundreds upon hundreds of millions of ounces of silver. In like the first 4 months of this year, they bought more silver than the entirety of the previous year. And now we are also seeing Russia buying boatloads of silver and China as well. Why are all the countries in the BRICS nations buying so much silver? And we're talking about silver, not gold. We know why. So, all eyes on Samsung. When will they put their silver solid state battery into the mainstream? Samsung's latest breakthrough in this solid state battery technology incorporates a significant amount of silver, potentially using up to 1,000 grams or 1 kilo of silver per vehicle. This silver solid state battery technology represents a major achievement in the EV energy storage. And there's going to be more solid state batteries that are going to be invented next year and the year after that, and with another type of, invention or another application. People don't think like that. They're not looking ahead. Everyone started freaking out about Samsung's new battery, on how much silver it uses, and it can charge a Tesla in 9 seconds. But think about how many other new inventions we don't know yet that are going to be happening like this, that are also going to require more and more and more silver. But where is it going to come from? There is nowhere for it to come from. And that is where silver's true price can shine. And that is why gold does not have a chance. And that is just one sliver of a point I could make to why silver has more potential than gold. And I don't get me wrong, I should have said this earlier in the video. Gold is still a great investment. It's still a great way to park your money. I buy gold myself. There's just more opportunity in silver. The whole point is silver is more valuable than gold because it brings more value to the table, but they are both safe haven assets that have intrinsic value. Silver is just the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity and light sensitivity, not gold. And it's silver that's short, not gold. But gold still is a great tier one asset to park your money in times of economic uncertainty and chaos. So you could do both, like most of us do. So I'm not going to go too much into the batteries, but they go into the it's 5 grams of silver per battery. This is a substantial increase in silver usage compared to traditional lithium ion batteries. So yeah, it can charge in not 9 seconds, 9 minutes, or charge Tesla batteries in 9 minutes, not 9 seconds. The 600-mile range approximately doubles that of the current EVs. Estimated 20-year lifespan, twice that of current batteries. Solid state design allows for a lighter battery pack. I mean, and this is just the beginning. And India is the world's largest silver importer this year. But why? India has witnessed a remarkable surge in silver imports, driven primarily by the booming solar energy sector. In the first 4 months of 2024, like I was just mentioning, the country imported an astonishing 4,172 metric tons, a figure that has already surpassed the total imports of all of 2023, which I was just mentioning. The first 4 months of this year, India imported more silver than the entirety of the year before. I didn't just make that number up. I meant that. India is buying boatloads now. Breaking news from Russia last week announced that they are also starting to buy boatloads of silver as well. Another interesting thing is that all that silver is at all-time highs in all these other currencies except the dollar. Silver is at an all-time high in the Russian ruble, the Indian rupee, the African rand, the Australian dollar, the Canadian dollar, the euro, but not the USD. But why? And is the USD next? That's another thing to think about. The primary driver of increased demand in the solar energy sector, where silver plays a crucial role, is the cell production due to superior conductivity. They're called PV cells, photovoltaics. So, looking ahead, it's expanded to continue upward, right? Just every graph shows that we need more and more and more and more silver, but there's less and less and less of it. I have not seen one graph that's showing that this position is going to start equaling out or fizzling out or might be fixable. Everything is looking like it's going to get way worse, way faster, and there's nothing we can do about it. Literally, all there is mining innovation, which I actually am friends with the CEO of one of the biggest silver miners, Sean Kuhn from Dolly Varden Silver in BC, Canada. He's located in the British Triangle. He's mined over 65 million ounces of silver. He's found over 1 million ounces of gold as a byproduct. But even he talks about the shortage. And when we're talking about miners, and he's only one of the very few silver miners. I think he's actually the only miner that specifically focuses on silver. All these other miners are looking for gold, lead, and zinc, and anything else. If they find silver, they'll take it, but they're not looking for it. So if mining innovation is going to do nothing, then what else? Recycling? Recycling won't put a dent in the amount of silver we need. All those landfills, imagine trying to recycle all that. That is not going to fix a deficit of 770 million ounces in the last 4 years. So, what else? Taking our silver? I don't think that's enough either, even if they were in vaults able to. So, what else? The final frontier. That's an interesting one because that is the most realistic, just not yet. The final frontier meaning space mining. And yes, you heard me correctly. Space mining. NASA sent up a rover to check out this asteroid called 16 Psyche. It has up to $500 quintillion of precious metals on it. Arrives in Earth's orbit by the year 2026. NASA, I don't think they're not going to try to mine the asteroid. They're not going to have the equipment, but they're just studying it. They're researching it. But the whole point of them looking towards the final frontier to get resources like gold and silver that are very, very scarce on Earth. I mean, believe it or not, silver is going to be extinct pretty soon. And I'm not exaggerating, like especially with these missiles, like 500 ounces of silver in a single Tomahawk missile, or 11,000 ounces in some torpedoes. And as soon as that hits the ground, boom, it's obliterated into Earth's crust. It's gone. It's gone. It's not like it's gold where it just keeps getting remelted into bars and jewelry and coins. It's gone. So silver will become extinct a lot quicker than people think, and we're gonna have to get it from somewhere. And it's not made in the Earth's crust. It got here from meteors and comets and asteroids in the first place. So it's going to have to be us going to find those same meteors and comets and asteroids again. So without further ado, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoy the journey and if you enjoy the mission. And I appreciate you all. Make sure to email slayer@milesfranklin.com, or you can call me 330-485-6172. I will take care of you. I give great prices. And yeah, make sure you hit me up. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.